Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This Friday, the 16th of May 2014. Well, shipping markets. Is it a market of discontent? Is it a summer of discontent? As said in our last recapitulation on the shipping markets, there isn't any sustainability whatsoever, at least for the time being. And with an uncertain world order, not just the geopolitical issues looming in the background only, but things can get sore. This is our 18th overview of the shipping markets and the world events. The BDI closed 6 points up since yesterday at 1,027 points, which is 20 points up from last week's closing, which was below the 1,000 point mark at 997. So again, we have been raised a bit to the 1,000 point mark plus. But there's nothing to really celebrate, as one category cannot make the difference. In this instance now, it's not the Capes, it's the Panamaxes. Hooray! We love the Panamaxes. It's this size for the market and for the market to come. Now, overall, this result is 54% again below of the closing of the Baltic Dry Index in December 2013. It's a very big loss, this 1,200 points down. Can we reach, say, in the next 2 months the 2,000 points? What are the analysts predicting? This is a question I'm putting forward. Can we double it? Can we go to 2,000 safely and, to see a more sustainable market? Or we're going to play up and down? The BCI was down 16 points since yesterday, down at 1,530, which is 17 points down since last week's 1,547. Again, caution to the big size. The BSI was down 2 points at 899, which is 10 points down since last Friday's 909. And again, it's below the 1,000 point mark of the BSI index. The BHI was also a few points down at 487, and overall 21 points since last week, and it's still under the 500 level. Caution again. So all in all, despite going above the 1,000 points, the markets are heading downwards. Coming to the West now, a -1 point at 656 for the Baltic Dirty Tanker Index, which is also 10 points down since last week. The Baltic Clean Tanker Index was 1 point up yesterday at 532. The box trade, which we haven't touched for a couple of months now on purpose to see, is also in a very difficult state. And if we like to say something for the entire industry, opportunism and money is the name of the game. Few winners and many losers. Just wait and see. So the market, in particular the dry sector, as it stands, and whatever happens is good only for those with money available, cash or otherwise. And the important thing is these few people must have the knowledge of how to contract cheap but sound tonnage in a great market to come, because this is a buyer's market. The vessels have lost more than 50-60% of their value. So you can build a fantastic vessel for half the price that you used to contract a few years ago. And this will be your profit. You're going to have a handsome capital gain when the market turns up. But the important thing is, like the banks, which banks understand the clients and which funds now understand the clients. So what you do not know, you cannot control. Unless you trust somebody to run this business with money from the funds, don't start it. And on this we can discuss it if you like. You can call us, you can write to us, and you can see how we can help. But overall, it's a good market to start up and for startups. Coming to geopolitics. Ukraine is now on the brink of more than a war. Expect many things to happen in the geopolitical front and frontiers too. Whether the West doesn't like the situation, that's another story. Okay, remember, during the Cold War, when you entered, those for us that also come from seafaring families and had a small even careers training on board ships, in the chart room, the charts of the Admiralty and other makers, they had in a red note, a note saying about the three Baltic countries, Estonia, Lithuania and Latvia, the American administration does not accept this occupation and annexation to the Soviet Union. What they have done? Nothing. So it's a game. So we would like to see the press being more sort of, down to earth in the same issue of Ukraine. Okay? So this is issues that we shouldn't fool ourselves, And there's more to come there. I mean, there has never been, in my view, a collapse of the Soviet Union. I mean, what is the old Greek saying? People are changing clothes. They are the same people. So whether the Bolsheviks, they got it right, whether the emperor got it right that time, that's a different story. They are the same people. The Sewol, the infamous now situation of this Korean passenger ro-ro ferry went down. Still 23 are missing, and this is nearly a month after she went down. Divers are still searching there. From the 476 people on board, 276 are unfortunately confirmed, and this is something very bad, confirmed one of the biggest accidents in the history of Korea. And there are more accidents to happen, and we stress that. We urge those that they hold this possibility and those regulatory bodies to step in and intervene, better say intervene, because there will be more accidents of this kind. India's Prime Minister-elect Narendra Modi, got a landslide victory, a very big victory, smashing completely the Congress party. What Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and her leader there, Manmohan Singh, will do, that's a different story. The world's biggest democracy must change. It will be the locomotive of a new era, and together with a more modest and under a good control China, things can change in the entire region. Remember, reporting from Singapore, we said that that region is the 4.5 to 5 billion people. It's becoming the epicenter of a very big world, a very big economic jump, not miracle. It's a reality there. The figures will play an important issue. The South China Sea is still getting hotter, with Japan's Prime Minister Abe calling for a new interpretation of the constitution which will pave the way for the military to fight overseas. So after Abenomics et al, we will see Abe-warnomics. Abe-warnomics. So this is another issue here to follow up. China-Vietnam, strangely at odds. China is adamant with its oil rigs and the drilling there in the South China Sea. Remember, on the 11th of April, from that particular point in Bitan Island, we show you on my right-hand side the actual point where the South China Sea starts, and the big melee is going to happen there. The Chinese General Feng Fenghui said that the Americans should stay away from a possible Vietnam-China aggravation. This is to watch it, These combatants there, I say combatants there, you never know how they can turn out. It's a new world order. And the situation in Vietnam, in case of an adventure with China, will be detrimental. So, despite being old comrades, they must come to a reality and alleviate their painful situation there. Europe has elections, and Greece is in the most enviable position. A lot of issues are at stake, irrespective of the result. Be prepared for the inevitable, and if you want, let's bet. Remember, the public votes the way they want. You remember that after the Second World War, the winner, the father of the win, of the war, Sir Winston Churchill, lost the election. Can you imagine? He lost the election. Equally, Mr. Samaras in Greece, he is trying to do his best, but the Greeks will vote the way they want. They don't care a damn, believe it or not, whether he is successful, as he says, or not. So this is very, very important. On the other hand, young Tsipras and his party Syriza, they better tell us the truth where they're heading. We had this discussion, you remember this discussion in 1980 with the big change of PASOK, the Pan-Hellenic Socialistic Movement, and you see where Greece has headed with all these guys and dolls. Okay. Now, Vista. Wista UK is getting ready for the 16th of June event in Liverpool. So the countdown has started. It's 30 days from today, 16th of May to 16th of June. Equally, Wista in Cyprus is getting ready for the 34th International AGM and conference between the 8th and the 11th of October. And there, the big theme to discuss, the title of the event is Shipping Connects. Lastly, Wista Hellas is going to surprise us at this year's Posidonia. Sad to hear that Greek shipowner and former president of the Union of Greek Shipowners, Menis Karagiorgis, at age 81, has passed away in Cyprus. Menis Karagiorgis was the man of the 70s, 80s and the 90s, and except he has a fantastic business acumen. Well, everybody goes up and down, you know, this is the secret story of life and business, but above all, Menis Karagiorgis was a great patriot. Over the issue of Cyprus, he was asked by the then Greek statesman Konstantinos Karamanlis, and overnight he collected a great amount of millions of dollars from his fellow shipowners for the defense of our countries. So, Menis Karagiorgis, rest in peace. We will always remember you. Now, at the end, we are going to say that on Monday, this coming Monday, the IMF Luncheon Buffet discussion will be held at Trinity House with Graham Hockley. Graham was a commander of the Royal Navy and he's the secretary at the Corporation of Trinity House. He's going to give a very interesting paper, Trinity House on the Environment and Safety. So I'll see you there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is John FARACLAS from allaboutshipping.co.uk. We wish you a happy, long weekend. Over and out.